everybody. This is Steven from Simply Nerdy, and I'm joined today by Anthony.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guess what? Super Smash Bros. Just finished announcing all the first pack of DLC of fighters.
And the last character was Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Simply Nerdy's kind of salty about that one. But, listen, because of all that salt, Anthony and I have been thinking hard about our picks for the next 6 Smash Brothers characters. And this is not legit, like this is just
our hopes and
wishes, our hopes and dreams, better said. If we could handpick all 6, what would it look like, and what order would they really be released in? So, I don't really have a list. The only character I would really want to see is more Metroid representation, so I would love to see the first DLC character to be released be a space pirate, which would be super cool.
That would be a pretty cool, a new way to represent Metroid.
It's just one of the iconic enemies of Metroid that would be cool to be able to play as. You know, you can't really play as a Metroid, but we already have Ridley, but I'd love to see more villain representation in Smash Bros. And Anthony has a couple of duplicates of mine anyway, so I'll hand it off to Anthony at this point, and I'll see if I can think of anything else on the way.
Sounds good. I was going to ask you, though, you kind of made me think, what would you think if we got any of the other hunters as well?
Oh, dude. Yes.
There's some pretty...
I would take them.
That would be some pretty unique characters they could add that would be really solid.
I just need more Metroid, you know? I am thirsty for Metroid. I want that 2D Metroid game, and I want all these Metroid things to come out now, because now is the time for Metroid. Release Metroid Prime 4, give us some Metroid rep in Smash Brothers at the same time. That'd be super cool. And a good time to do it, yeah.
Well, I've definitely thought about this pretty hard ever since they announced that there was going to be another fighter pack with 6 additional characters. So I have kind of put together a list, and there's some interchangeable characters here. So I'll give you my list of 6 in terms, not necessarily in terms of release order, but in terms of priority, like who I would pick first if I could get them. But all of these characters would be cool. Okay, so without further ado, here are my top 6, if it were up to me to pick the characters. First of all, Isaac from Golden Sun. He's kind of a dead ringer as basically a legitimate Nintendo character, and one who's been hotly requested for a long time, and he would be a really cool character in Smash. So, followed by Sora. I don't think I even need to justify that one.
Nope, that was one of my picks too.
After Sora, Akira Howard from Astral Chain.
Yeah!
I loved that game, and Akira was totally the bomb. The type of character they could create out of that would be very unique. The ways that they would tie in the Legionis abilities and the use of the legions and things like that, I think it could make for a very unique character, and we definitely could use more of those. So after that, Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. I haven't played a ton of the Tales of games, but I played the snot out of Tales of Symphonia, and I loved that game as a kid. And Lloyd was totally legit, and I think he'd make a really good character for Smash.
I only played the first disc, not the second disc.
Oh, you need to repent, Steven? Oh, that's so sad. We're going to have to help you repent.
Anyway, I loved Lloyd. Lloyd would be a super cool addition. He is another sword user, but then again, he's got some attacks in there that would be unique to him, and it would make him kind of unique in his own kind of way as well.
Yeah, well, and also he's got 2 swords, so that's different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is different.
So I will admit, I do tend to be partial to sword users. So I acknowledge there's a lot of them in Smash, but I will also point out that I think the reason why that's kind of so annoying is not because it's just sword users in general, but because it's
Fire Emblem Sakurai!
Fire Emblem Sakurai! Fire Emblem sword users!
Anyway, I knew we were going with that, and I had to say it at the same time.
Yeah, no, and don't get me wrong, you guys. I actually like Fire Emblem. I haven't played very many games yet. I played Fire Emblem Awakening, and I loved that game. And I own 3 houses. I haven't gotten to it yet. My backlog is tremendous, but that one is one I'm excited to play. That being said, I still would not have picked Byleth for a character slot. No.
for a purpose. No.
No.
Anyway, I'm getting off track here. The point is, I am still kind of partial to sword users. I just want a little bit more representation from other series with, different, more iconic characters. So, anyway, moving on. And actually, this is kind of a departure from sword users. This was a character I realized I thought would be really cool as an addition. I don't know how likely this would be, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Sabin from Final Fantasy VI. I feel like he would be a very, very cool character. Now, I don't know if you're super familiar with who Sabin is, Steven, but
I was trying to hide that by giving my little
Oh,
you can point me.
I'm sorry. You can take that out.
Kidding. I'm totally keeping that in.
Okay. So basically, you guys, for those of you who are not familiar with Sabin or who have not played Final Fantasy VI, which if you haven't, you should. Sabin is kind of a brawler character who has a very cool skill set in Final Fantasy. He's basically able to do really cool, like using command inputs, you can make him do really cool kind of wrestler moves. And this guy's a tank. Like, he legitimately can suplex a train while it's running full speed and while he's running away from it. And okay.
Dang.
Let's admit that it's a kind of a ridiculous notion, but still, it happened in the game, so I'm calling it anyway.
He sounds like a tank.
He totally is. So he would be legit. He would have some pretty cool moves. He would have to have his classic suplex. Probably also like aura bolts. Anyway, he would just be really cool brawler character with maybe some command input potential that I think would be a really fun addition and very iconic. So I would totally throw him on the list. And then I think my last place so far, and this again, there's a lot of other possible people here, but in terms of iconic sword users, I would probably say Chrono from Chrono Trigger. It's one of the most beloved RPGs ever made, for good reason, and I think he would be a really cool character to see in Smash. Those are probably my top 6 honorable mentions here. I would also throw in Will from Illusion of Gaia, Ark from Terranigma. I think it would be cool to have some spear users. And then, as another kind of random one that, for villain representation that I think would be really cool, would be Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. He's probably my favorite video game villain, just in terms of how he was written. I don't know how they'd make that work in Smash, but anyway. Those are my 6, and then my honorable mentions. Those are who I would pick.
And the space pirate would replace Isaac.
Nope.
I'm just kidding.
Isaac is still absolutely number 1. I've wanted him since Brawl. I've been wanting him in since Brawl, and they've been a jerk.
I've been wanting Lloyd in since Brawl. You heard it here first. Space pirates before Isaac, and Isaac before Lloyd. And if you agree, if you agree with this list, let us know down in the comments. Yeah. Anything else to add, Anthony?
Yeah, no, I was going to say you all should actually, if you wanted to, give us your list, like your 6 people in terms of order of priority that you would have added to the game if you had complete license over it. Like, anything you say goes. Whoever it is, no matter how unlikely, if you had the ultimate selection, which 6 would you pick? We'd like to see your thoughts.
And until next time,
keep it nerdy.